Hello everyone, my name is Dave Partner. Welcome to your next tutorial on JavaScript. In this tutorial, we'll be treating something called switch statements. Remember, in the past, we treated if and else conditional statements, where we said that they are used to check, to make some checks. You understand? So this is a branch in the if statement, and this is another branch in the else, and this is another branch. I'm trying to kind of refresh your memory, and but when we come to switch statements, we do almost the same thing. Let's just say that here we have x is equal to let's just say 20, and then we come into the if statement. We just want to check the value of x and output something. We can just say if x is equal to 20, we can just do document.write, just refreshing your memory with what we did the other time. We can say x is equal to 20. Hooray. So otherwise, if x is not equal to, we can just do an else if x is equal to 30. We can do something else. X is equal to 30, and we can even do one more thing and say if x is greater than 30, greater than 31. And okay, if x is greater than 30, we can say x is greater than 30, is greater than 30, it's greater than 30. So this is what we did in the past tutorials when we covered if and else statements. We just basically did an if statement here and said else if x is this, do that, and else if x is this, do that. So this is very interesting and works perfectly well. If we were going to check x and y, it's important that I put you through this before we get to switch statement, so you understand why switch is important. If we're going to check x and y and say, what if we say y is a boy, and we come here and say if x is this and y is a boy, do this. What if and y is a girl, do that, and so on and so forth. As you can see, we have more than one variable that we're checking. That is all the branches. This is a branch, and this is a branch, and this is a branch, and of course the last one should always be else. All right. Although if you do an else if, nothing will happen, it will still be okay, perfectly okay. All right, and so all the branches depend on the value of more than one variable. That's when if and else statement is perfect for it. But if everything has to depend on only one variable, assuming we're checking only one variable, and all the branches will depend on the value of just one variable, then switch statement is the best, and this is how switch works, exactly like if, but then we're just checking for one variable. Though we can do it with if and else, but we can also do it with switch. So switch, we have the expression. First of all, we declare a variable where we say, let me copy it out so that we can execute properly. We declare a variable. This is how switch works. You declare a variable at the top where we have var x is equal to 20. We have var x equal to 20, and we can now tell it what we expecting to check. We say we're expecting to check for x. So the first time, if x is equal to, we can just say here if x is equal to 10, do something. If x is equal to 20, do something. And so you can use several cases, and then finally x equals to 30. Finally, we can now say in case x is not any of these guys, execute this one. So your switch statement starts like this, has an open and close bracket with the expression inside, and then you have this curly bracelets, and then you have the cases. For each case, you put the value you are checking for here and put the code that will execute here. So the code we want to execute is document.write, and we can say x is equal to 10. This is the code we want to execute. At the end of the code, you break it. If you don't break it, the code will keep running. Your parser will keep running. It will not stop here and go to the next block of code under your code. If there's no break, it will run this one again and run this one again and run this one again. Alright, so you always have your break, and remember to have this tiny semicolon here. And then you check for the next thing. You have your break. You check for the next thing. You have your break. And remember this colon here after the condition you're checking for. And then you have the default. You must always have your default. So our default, let's just say that this is x is equal to 20, and we have x is equal to 30, and finally we say x is none of the above. Very important. X is none of the above. Alright, that's the default case. That's like if you are comparing it to your if statement here, this is where this last else is the default. What happens if every other thing doesn't happen? Alright, let's go and run our code and see what will happen. This is our page, and we'll refresh. And as you can see, it executed something and said that x is equal to 20 because we have it exactly here, that if x is equal to 20, this guy should execute. Now, what if we had this inside quotes? JavaScript is interesting, a little different from many other languages in the way it handles some variable types. As you can see, x is none of the above because this is a string and it's looking for numbers. Alright, that's why this is different. Okay, so this is switch statement for you. The last thing we can do is to try and do a malicious thing, which is basically remove all the break statements and see what will happen. Let's run it without the breaks, and we'll refresh. And of course, as you can see, it doesn't just work without the breaks, because obviously there are different variable types. This is a string and all these are numbers. But what if this is a number? Let's see. Guess what will happen if this is a number? Of course, it will run everything because there is no break statement. So we go back and we refresh, and what you see is it runs the first one, x is equal to 20, run the first one, second one, x is equal to 30, and x is none of the above. And if you look here in the code, you will see that it started running from when it is true. Immediately it turned true, it accepted every other thing as true, but then it ignored this one because this is false for it. X is not equal to 10. So immediately it found x is equal to 20, it ran everything. So that's it for you on switch statements. In the next tutorial, we'll look at other interesting things in JavaScript. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to my channel on YouTube and other social networks. See you.